You're seeing this for a reason, and you are chosen. This is why you can't be around too many people. Your energy is cosmic and royal, and unfortunately for common folk, they are not equipped to handle your aura. If you're here right now, it's because you just stepped through the Chosen One's portal. And now, you are about to successfully manifest all of the divine blessings that you've been seeking from the Most High. Chosen One, take a deep breath and settle into this moment, because what you are about to receive is more than mere words. This message is a catalyst, a spark igniting the flame you felt flickering inside since you were young. You did not arrive here by accident. You did not stumble across this message by chance. There is a divine blueprint guiding your steps, and right now, the blueprint has led you to a revelation about why you can't be around too many people, and why that simple fact is part of your higher calling. From the time you were small, you sensed a difference. Maybe you couldn't name it then, but you felt it like a pull in your spirit. You'd walk into a room and pick up on emotions no one spoke aloud. You'd see through the masks people wore, noticing the fear, envy, or sadness hidden beneath polite conversation. At times, that ability felt like a curse. You'd leave gatherings with an unexplainable heaviness on your shoulders, wondering why social settings drained you far more than they seemed to drain anyone else. Tonight, you're about to understand that none of it was random or accidental. It's all tied to the supernatural, God-given energy within you. An energy meant not to blend into crowds, but to shine brilliantly beyond their reach. The divine design of your solitude was meant to propel you to higher levels, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Chosen One, have you ever questioned why you often feel most at peace when you're alone, surrounded by silence rather than a cacophony of voices? It's because you've been set apart by the hand of God, carefully shielded so you can cultivate the gifts placed within you. Your solitude is no punishment, it's preparation. In a world clamoring for attention, the divine has ensured you spend significant time in the quiet, where your spirit can breathe and your mind can receive instructions straight from heaven's throne. You may have spent countless nights wrestling with loneliness, wishing you could be like everyone else who seems perfectly content in crowded rooms, at non-stop gatherings, and in social circles you never felt truly part of. If that resonates, understand that your aloneness was never about rejection. It was always about selection. The Most High has orchestrated periods of isolation so you could learn to rely on God rather than on the fleeting approval of people who don't see or understand your anointing. In the hush of solitude, your intuition sharpens. Your sensitivity to energies and motives becomes razor-edged. You're being shown the hidden agendas in some of the crowds that used to draw you in. Those moments you questioned, why am I so drained after being with these people? Were not failures of your social skills. They were confirmations that your frequency couldn't harmonize with theirs. The more you honor this truth, the more you'll discover how God is using your alone time to elevate you, so you can carry a message the world desperately needs. Your supernatural God-given energy is like a finely tuned instrument, resonating at a pitch much higher than the average person can hear. Imagine two radios operating on very different frequencies. One is blasting static, and the other is quietly broadcasting a signal filled with heavenly clarity. You are that latter frequency, clear, potent, and in direct alignment with the voice of the divine. This contrast explains why you often feel uneasy in large crowds. Think of it as an energetic mismatch. Your refined vibration meets the chaotic swirl of unresolved hurts, toxic mindsets, and unhealed traumas that crowd environments often carry. While others may remain blissfully ignorant of these dense energies, you walk in and immediately sense them like static interference, jarring your spiritual senses. God designed you this way on purpose. You weren't born to meld into the status quo. You're here to challenge and transform it. Your unique vibration dismantles illusions. It shines light into darkness, whether people want that light or not. Remember those times you spoke truth in a room full of half-truths and polite deceptions, and suddenly everything grew tense. That's your frequency cutting through spiritual sludge, and not everyone can handle that. Yet your difference is your armor. The same energies that push you away from big crowds are the very energies that preserve the brilliance of your calling. If you were constantly immersed in chaotic vibrations, your gifts might be muffled, your clarity clouded. That is why a measure of solitude and selective association is not just beneficial, it's essential to your destiny. Your spiritual alignment sets you apart from the rest. Chosen one, you're an empath in the truest, highest sense of the word. You don't just sense other people's moods, you feel them. You perceive the hidden waves of anxiety or anger when someone with a forced smile enters the room. You're acutely aware of unspoken yearnings, of heartbreaks concealed behind bravado. This isn't an overactive imagination or fragility. It's a divine gift that turns you into a vessel for healing and understanding. But every gift has two sides. Because you absorb energies like a sponge, you can quickly become saturated, carrying emotional weight that isn't even yours. It's no wonder you reach a point of overload if you stay too long in environments swirling with negativity. The shortness of breath, the racing thoughts, the emotional heaviness, these are red flags your spirit sends you when your empathic well-being is at risk. You might have labeled yourself too sensitive, criticized your own inability to toughen up. Stop doing that. Your sensitivity is a treasure, a direct line to spiritual truths others miss. The challenges arise only when you don't set boundaries around your energy. God's plan for you includes learning how to protect that empathic gift. One major way the divine accomplishes this is by steering you into periods of solitude, times where you can release accumulated energies, pray, meditate, and realign. When you block out the world's noise, you hear the universe with divine clarity through sacred downloads and synchronicities. Have you ever noticed how the world clamors for attention with never-ending distractions? Social media feeds, gossip, superficial trends, only to leave you feeling empty when you indulge in them? That hollow aftertaste is your soul's way of alerting you. This is not my nourishment. This is not where I thrive. You see, your mission requires clarity. If you're constantly bombarded by trivial chatter or caught in the swirl of meaningless drama, you won't hear the still, small voice of God guiding your steps. The fewer distractions you entertain, the sharper your discernment becomes. Your path might feel lonely at times, but that quiet is fertile ground where divine downloads can flourish. Some might misinterpret your withdrawal as aloofness or pride. They might say, "You're too introverted, loosen up." Yet your spiritual blueprint doesn't allow you to submerge yourself in chaos for the sake of fitting in. You weren't made to follow the crowd. You were designed to stand out as a guiding light, a beacon for those ready to break free from the illusions that keep them captive. Chosen one, let's talk about the mission etched into your soul. You carry a higher calling that demands seriousness and dedication. This isn't a hobby or a weekend pastime. It's your life's purpose, the very reason you're on Earth in this specific era. Many people drift through life seeking mere entertainment or fleeting comforts, but that's never satisfied you. Why? Because God embedded a longing in you for deeper meaning, for truth that transcends the superficial pursuits of our times. This longing is so powerful that you can't turn it off. It's why you can't just settle for meaningless conversations or artificial relationships. It's why you often retreat to reflect, pray, or immerse yourself in spiritual insights. This mission might manifest in different ways. You could be a healer, an artist, a leader, a voice for social justice, a channel for higher wisdom, or any number of roles that serve to uplift and awaken others. Regardless of how it takes shape, your calling has weight, and it demands you stay in tune with God's instructions. That's another reason you can't be around too many people too often. The more voices in your ear, the easier it is to lose track of the one voice that truly matters. You may question why your life has seen so many abrupt departures. Friends drifting away, doors closing at the last minute, invitations withheld. It can feel like you're being left out or punished. But in reality, these are instances of divine protection. The Most High sees the hidden motives, the hearts of people around you, and intervenes to keep you from entanglements that would sabotage your purpose. Look at biblical or historical examples of chosen ones. Moses encountered the burning bush in isolation. Elijah heard the still, small voice while alone in a cave. Even Jesus frequently withdrew from the crowds to recharge in solitude. Separation is a recurring theme in the lives of those with a holy assignment. By removing you from constant social immersion, God ensures that the precious gem of your calling remains untainted by outside influences that may not serve your higher good. When you interpret these separations as divine strategy rather than rejection, you'll begin to find peace. You'll start thanking God for the closed doors, seeing them not as failures, but as redirections. When you grasp that your life's blueprint requires you to be insulated from the chaos others find normal, loneliness transforms into holy solitude, a sanctuary where your spirit can blossom. Chosen one, have you ever felt like you speak a different language than those around you? They talk about topics that either bore or disturb you, or they chase after ambitions that leave your heart cold. Meanwhile, you crave substance, depth, and alignment with the eternal. This sense of misalignment isn't a flaw in your character. It's the result of your elevated frequency. Picture two magnets with opposing poles. No matter how hard you try to push them together, they repel each other. That's what happens when you, with your heightened consciousness, step into spaces saturated with negativity, envy, or gossip. The friction you feel is a sign that you are not meant to stay in that environment. Some might label you antisocial, but the truth is that your presence alone can unsettle people who are not ready to face their own shadows. Whether they recognize it or not, your energy reveals what they'd prefer to keep hidden. They may become defensive, hostile, or try to undermine you, all because your spirit silently exposes the illusions they live behind. Empathy at your level is both a cross to bear and a blessing from heaven. On one hand, it compels you to care deeply, to reach out to those in need. You may be the one people come to with their problems, their heartbreaks, their untold sorrows. On the other hand, this can lead to emotional overload. You collect fragments of other people's pain, carrying them on your own shoulders. That's why God often says, "Step away and rest, my child." If you're constantly bombarded by others' burdens without sufficient time to recharge, your inner flame dims. You're here to carry a torch of truth and healing, but you can't do that effectively if you're weighed down by every passing storm. Solitude is where you lay down those collected energies at God's feet, letting divine grace wash them away so you can stand tall again. Let's be honest, being alone for long stretches can hurt. It can test your mental resilience. You might wonder, is there anyone out there who truly understands me? This ache is part of your refinement. In these lonely hours, you learn to seek communion with the divine more fervently. You discover that you are never truly alone because you are held by a higher presence that knows your heart better than you do. Consider it a sacred honeymoon period with God, a time to deepen your prayer life, to explore spiritual texts, to meditate and receive visions. This is when your spiritual gifts amplify. You become more attuned to subtle energies, start recognizing synchronicities, and hear God speaking to you in ways the noisy world can't decipher. When the pain of loneliness becomes acute, remind yourself of the saints, prophets, and sages throughout history who also walked this lonely path. They questioned, they wrestled, they cried out in despair, but eventually they stepped into their destiny with a power they never would have attained had they remained in the crowds. As we come to the end of this message, let a wave of relief wash over you. You're not broken or antisocial. You're consecrated. You're not cursed. You're chosen. You bear a torch that illuminates hidden corners of human existence, and it must be protected from the strong winds of collective chaos. Go forward with this knowledge. Your supernatural, God-given energy is too precious to be scattered among crowds that can't appreciate or handle it. You've been called to steward it wisely, using it to glorify the Creator and serve those who are genuinely ready to step into higher truths. Yes, there will be days when you crave a simpler existence. On those days, remember the mission seeded in your spirit. Recall how every time you tried to fit in, your soul rebelled, reminding you that normal was never your label. Let your times of solitude be hallowed ground, fueling your connection to God and refining your role in this ever-shifting world. Chosen one, you can't be around too many people because your presence is not meant to be diluted. It's meant to be potent. You are here to transform, to heal, to disrupt the status quo, and to bring a foretaste of heaven to those hungry for something beyond the ordinary. Embrace it, walk in it, and never apologize for the intensity of your light. You are chosen for such a time as this, and the world needs the brilliance you carry, shaped by solitude, protected by divine design, and destined for greatness. Stand tall, beloved soul. Your separation is your covering, your shield, and your launching pad into realms of impact you've only glimpsed in dreams. The journey will test you, but the victory is assured. After all, when the Creator of the universe marks you as chosen, no crowd, no chaos, and no limitation can diminish the power surging through your spirit. If you're here right now, it's because you just stepped through the Chosen One's portal, and now you are about to successfully manifest all of the divine blessings that you've been seeking from the most high.